the map that we received, I think it's a bit inadequate from, this isn't a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's a new map with, John.
So, is there a new plan been submitted then? Or?
Well, some changes to it, just some technical details, John, that's why. He met with the engineer, John did, and there were a few things that he noticed that needed to be changed on the.
I'll let you work from my list, and if they've already been identified.
Before that, I don't see any changes.
They took the 0.9 acres off and put property owners, neighboring property, that's what he told me.
They still got the line going down the center of Meadow Lane, and that whole street was conveyed from Susquehanna Township.
The reason that becomes an issue is that if you look then to the west of the property, if you look at the setbacks, what are the real setbacks for the property? Because I guess it would come to the edge of Meadow Lane then instead of to the center of Meadow Lane to start. And then you do your width based on that. It says here, this is now we do have, John, the list of the property that's listed as owned by Bernard Cost Sr. and Ellen Cost. That's the joining property. Is that right?
Yeah. Probably, I don't know. Just thought,
I didn't know that there was any property remaining from Cost on that.
I don't know either. But one thing, now they're using the dimensions, or now there's no dimensions at all on here now. But if they were using the dimensions that was off the survey map that was done when they bought the 10 acres of land. So if they're starting in the center of Meadow Lane, they'd be leaving a 25-foot strip on the west.
And that doesn't show on the map.
What is this? 18. So they're going 18 feet off of here, which would be.
And I'm pretty sure that Meadow Lane is a 50-foot right away in that pedigree.
I think we have Cost here tonight. He might know if the property next to the proposed fireworks, is that owned by your mother? And
there's no property left by Bernard or Eileen Cost dead for over 3 years.
Yeah. So this is
who is it? Is it Mr. Rincavage?
Mr. Rincavage did own it, but has sold it out.
It's been sold twice, right?
Correct. Lands of Bernard C. Cost Sr. Ellen Cost. They do not own that property. So that's the other issues besides that I had is regarding the entrance. 706B. Each entrance and exit shall be clearly defined with curbing, fencing, landscaping, or vegetative screening so as to prevent access to the area from any other than the defined entrance and exit. And I don't see that on the entrance to the property. And then it's similar to that discussion that we just had about the divider. If there's going to be 25 vehicles or more per day, there needs to be a divider on that entrance to the building as well.
But then they've got 25 more people over here, because they're not using it.
And also, I don't know if I'm reading this correctly, 70613, the buffer area, the buffer area between the parking area and the public street is supposed to be landscaped with vegetation and a minimum of 50% evergreen shrubbery. One shrub for every 10 feet of frontage, and I don't see that listed on the plan. I do see the shrubbery on the side of Meadow Lane.
I don't see any that look like they're evergreen,
No, there's nothing.
unless they're all broad-leafed evergreens.
Well, those are on the Meadowland side. I'm talking about the requirement for the buffer going out to Helen Road.
Right.
I also have a question about the water tank. I don't know if that water tank is is hooked to the sewer system, the septic system. It looks like it's just a holding tank.
Well, that would be water that's going to be used. That's their water, and that's their septic on the other side. And there's a 100-foot setback
How are
there.
they going to get them? How are they going to make the toilets work without carrying water into the building, which seems kind of strange? And under Article 702, it says, A says the site when developed shall be served by an approved water supply system. So I don't know if we're gonna approve a holding tank for flushing toilets, I would hope.
So there's a big question about the width of the property and the placement, plus it should be on as a largest sheet of paper if it's gonna have all this information on it. Not squeeze outside the borderline.
When we get that information on other projects, when we get commercial projects that come before the group, we get a lot of information, and we're not getting any information on this one.
Very often we get 3 and 4 layers of information,
Right.
not just,
Right. We still have the concerns of the township supervisors. They say they're not getting enough information. Lack of detail. And we still have not heard from PennDOT as far as the PennDOT study on the intersection. So those are the concerns I have with it.
Looks like the only question that's still on it should remain tabled until we get all that information.
well, if we're considering it and looking at it, we have a certain, with a deadline. I think what we have to do is tell them it's just, this is incomplete,
Right.
hand it back to them.
Well, I don't think that 90 days is up next meeting, I believe
The February meeting, you'd have to take action on it, yes.
it. Is it,
Fact remains, it's still incomplete.
It's incomplete.
well,
We don't have to take it, we don't have to accept it.
the point is, if it's over 90 days, they're gonna get an automatic approval unless we reject it.
Exactly.
Well, that needs to be rejected.
It needs to be rejected as incomplete. Let them reapply,
They need to
complete it and
they need to
reapply.
resubmit it with the information they need on it.
Any other questions? Next one, Meadows at Tiffany Pines, Rehab Life Family Housing Development Townhouse in Bridgewater Township. They're requesting conditional preliminary approval.
That's a sketch plan.
So we're good, yeah. This is just, you're good. Corky, this is the workshop meeting, no official action to take. Start at 7:30. Okay, I also have here, you want to see this, this is building sizes and elevations, what the building's going to look like. We also have a landscaping plan, separate landscaping plan. But just briefly, this is for 40 townhouses, prehab, buying property from Robert and Patricia Aiken and Tiffany Corners, and this was on the agenda December 18th, and it was tabled because the engineers hadn't yet shown that they could fit 40 townhouses on that amount of land and still have 40% open space. So the second to last page of this, of what you have, shows the calculations and the open space, and they're actually at 43%. They added a little more land that they're going to buy from the Aikens, and now they're at 43% open space with 40 townhouses. They have their sewer letter from the sewer authority saying that they're going to serve the development. They're still waiting for the letter from the water company, but that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. Building sizes, the townhouses themselves, which you can see on this sheet, are about 39 feet, well, not out, they are 39 feet by 15.6 feet. There's 2 and 3 bedroom models. The 2 bedroom models are 2-story. The 3 bedroom adds another story, the 3rd bedroom up on the 3rd floor. They're building a road with a cul-de-sac that is 50 foot in diameter, as it's supposed to be. Like I said, a landscaping plan. They're buying 7.22 acres. Now, when I wrote the memo, they had not yet received their NPDES from the Conservation District, and what was just handed to me is the approval. I heard from Willie Keeney of the Conservation District, and he said that he had issued the approval letter today. That's a copy of it signed by Willie Keeney of the Conservation District, so that part's done. All we're waiting for yet is the letter from the water company. As I said, Mr. Phelps said that was coming in the next week or so, and we were waiting for the revised plans. We had sent a copy of the plan to Bridgewater Township, and they reviewed it at one of their December meetings. They have 2 meetings a month. But this revised plan with the landscaping and the building sizes and the 40, the difference in the lot size, we're going to get that to the municipality for their February 4th meeting.
Do we have any stormwater control?
Yeah, that's all. That's this NPDES business from
And Conservation District has already done that.
That's what they look at. And I think that's it. It's not that our ordinance, calls out such things, but just for your interest, it's a moderate income housing development, not low income. They don't allow pets. And approximately in the area of like 600 a month,
So we have to pet each other and stuff.
unless it's medically required. Yeah,
See my dog.
seeing eye dog or something like
Anybody else have any questions? Any items from the planning commission that we can present during this workshop?
December. Oh. That was somebody else. It was the same, yeah, it's the same, yeah. And then they have the layouts of them. Shed out back with patio.
Where's the size of these buildings shown on
Here, it's in here. Yep, it's,
I have numbers, but I haven't seen the actual length and width. Is it actually shown on the buildings or is it very out someplace?
There you go.
What sheet is that?
this is,
A111.
yeah, it's not in your, that's why I'm saying this is separate.
It's only here.
Oh, in order, yeah, okay.
Okay, it's now 7:30. Call this regular meeting of the Susquehanna County Planning Commission in order. Start off with the pledge of freedom. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As required by our index, the first order of business is reorganization of the planning commission and appointment of chairman pro tem, and I appoint myself chairman pro tem. Nancy, the secretary pro tem. We have a nominating committee. As a nominating committee, fill out the slate of officers. Are you ready to prepare and present them at this time?
Steve Tesman here. Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that we nominate Frank Potter as chairman, John Butler as vice chairman, and Nancy Harbertine as secretary.
You had heard the nominating committee's suggestion. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Are there any other nominations for any office at this time? Second time, are there any other nominations for any office at this time? Third time, is there any nominations for any office in this commission at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I move the nominations be closed.
Nominations will be closed, and the secretary is instructed to cast a unanimous ballot for the slate of officers as presented. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Down to work. First thing we want to announce and to the record, on Tuesday, January the 8th, 2013, at 7 p.m., the Susquehanna County Planning Commission and the Susquehanna County Department of Planning met with the county solicitor, Attorney Thomas F. Mayer, in the conference room of the county office building, 81 Public Avenue, Montrose, PA, to consult with the solicitor regarding information in connection with the issues on which identifiable complaints are expected to be filed. Any communications?
2 more minutes.
You had presented a copy of the written minutes of the previous meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes as presented? Now, is there a motion that they be accepted at this time?
I so move.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
I second.
Second. Question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion has been passed. Communications.
Okay, communications were sent to you, and tonight's handout includes, what, 4 new ones, if anybody wants to see any of them, I have them here.
Any questions on the communication? Staff report, the county planning director's report has been presented to you for your approval. If there are any questions? Deputy director's report has also been presented to you. Do you have any questions on its report?
Move to approve.
Motion's been made to accept both the planning director's and deputy director's report. Is there a second?
So moved.
Motion's been second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion has been passed. Oh,
Is that right?
before we begin our regular meeting, this is the time for public comment. Is there any public comment to be presented at this time? Being no public comment, we'll go into old business, subdivision and land development review, Acre Lake Veterinarian Hospital, land restores to commercial development, Lennox Township, request of final approval. You recall it, we had this looked over, there were some questions about driveway. Sure you're familiar with it, see it again?
Okay, at the December 18, 2012 meeting, the commission granted the requested waiver of section 706.6L, number of parking spaces, and granted preliminary approval of the Acre Lake Veterinary Hospital commercial development in Lennox Township, conditioned on receipt of a driveway permit as issued by PennDOT. On January 22nd, our office received a copy of the driveway permit issued by PennDOT. Now the development is complete and the owner has requested final approval so that the business can open. The staff and planning commission member visited the site and found it to be developed in accordance with the approved preliminary plan. Therefore, the staff recommendation is to grant final approval of the Acre Lake Veterinary Hospital commercial development in Lennox Township.
Any questions? Let it be noted that the on-site review is made by a member of the commission and found no objections to this plan as presented. Any other questions?
Did they add any parking places, Bob?
No,
No, they're asking for a variance in
yeah, he granted the waiver of number of parking spaces in December.
Last meeting.
how much land does this lady own?
Corner there.
Yeah, it's 5 acres. This was approved in December, conditioned on a driveway permit from PennDOT. We received the driveway permit. That's it.
I move we
You
concur
can't go
with,
back.
I move we concur with staff recommendation and accept this, the final.
Motion was made for final approval. You second?
I'll second it.
Second. Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion has been passed. The next item for discussion is the Casey Small Commercial Development in Susquehanna Township. They're requesting preliminary approval. This item was presented to the workshop meeting and several items were brought up for discussion. Consideration is final action should be taken on this plan at this time. Or if we don't do it, it will automatically deemed automatically approved because of the 90-day waiting period. So we'll have to either take action on it to approve it, reject it, or leave it on the table, by the next meeting, it will be automatically approved, I understand.
Mr. Chairman, we found when we were going over this during the workshop just a few moments ago, that there are a number of problems in connection with the map itself.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure.
The legal item to be presented this time is motion to take from the table, so it can't be
So we need-
discussed. So the motion's
For the
done.
purposes of discussion, I would suggest we remove this from the table.
We have a motion to remove from the
Second.
table, and second, and all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion has been passed. Now go on.
As I was saying before, we were talking about this as it was sitting on the table during our workshop within the last hour. And we have found several items here that really, this is not a finished drawing. We don't know that the ordinance would be, based on this drawing, that the ordinance would be followed. And my suggestion was we throw it back to the engineer and reject it and tell him to give us a complete application.
Motion is made to reject the application as incomplete at this time. Reason.
A number of reasons. So you have the setbacks are wrong, that they
They
apparently.
will delineate them in the letter to the
Yeah,
engineer showing them.
there are a number of problems with the map itself.
You want me to list them
Yes,
again?
please,
Yeah.
yes,
All right.
yes.
Again, to follow up with Kathy, the plan itself is defective as far as the dimensions are concerned. The neighboring property is incorrect. The people have died that are listed.
Excuse me, Bernie, the dimensions of the lot,
Well, we looked at the fact that Meadow Lane is owned by the township, and it apparently leaves a 25-foot gap on the west side of the property that's not detailed. So, what is the actual setback going to be on the west side? The other issues that I had, 706-8, the controlled access, entrance, exit shall be defined clearly as curbing, fencing, landscaping, vegetative screening, that prevent access to the area from other than the defined entrance and exit. And that's important in that neighborhood, that there's going to be one exit that, so people aren't driving through the fields to get to the business. Also, the 706A, 706.8B, number 2, entrance and exit lanes shall be separated by dividers or planted islands when traffic volumes are expected to exceed 25 vehicles per day. And I would assume that 25 vehicles a day would be pretty standard, given that it's a retail business, especially weekend business, I would assume. And then I had an issue with 706.13A, buffer areas. Buffer area between the parking area and the public street shall be landscaped, including vegetation with a minimum of 50% evergreen shrubbery. I don't see that on the plan either. The next item was the concern with the question, I guess, about the 1,000-gallon water tank. It appears that this is just a holding tank. I don't see any indication that it's that there's a water line to the building, to the septic system. And in 702 standards, says the site when developed shall be served by an approved water supply system and an approved sanitary system. They do have the sanitary sewer system approved, but it appears there's no running water into the building. Also, we have yet to hear from PennDOT regarding the traffic study. And there's still a concern by the township supervisors that they don't have enough information. And one of the supervisors has suggested that sprinklers would be needed for the building. We don't see that. There just isn't any, there's just a lack of detail in the plan. And I think sometimes this happens, and we've heard, in the past, we've heard Commissioner Butler talk about these plans that are getting picked up from a survey and just being copied, and I think that could be part of the reason here that we just don't have the survey or work put into the proper plan that needs to be done in order that, for us to consider it.
And the property line down the center of Meadow Lane is not right. It does not go to the center of Meadow Lane.
That was a question also. What was the question?
Well, I'm sure that was 50 feet, because when this was approved originally, the Burning Pass subdivision, I'm sure the planning commission required a 50-foot right of way. I didn't actually see the deed to the township, but I think that's pretty standard.
I've seen the deed recently. It's either 50 or 60 feet. I can't remember what it is, but it's at least 50 or 60 feet.
Now, that normally is 60, normally 50, 33 or 50. If it's an old road, they go back to the old standard of 33 feet. Or whatever if they took more for sloping or something, it could be 150, you don't know. Okay, we'll check that out, make sure we got the right distance on there for the presentation.
This bothers me, that the whole map should be shown on a piece of paper. When it's running off the edge of you can't see the whole property line. It's really, we could say it's illegible, but it's got things that we can't determine.
Did you make that a motion to reject that?
I'd make that a motion,
Motion,
then we eject it.
second to that motion to reject? Yep. Motion is second. Further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion has been rejected. Motion passed to reject. Time I have Rehab Meadows at Tiffany Pines, multi-family housing development, townhouses, Bridgewater Township requesting preliminary approval.
Okay.
So Bob, you said that now you said 43%
Yes.
is what's.
Yeah, the second last page of that you have shows the calculations, the different things that are taken out, the roadway and all that.
And that's because they added acreage?
Yeah, they had a little bit of acreage and now it bumped it up to 43% of open space. Before, they hadn't shown us exactly what the amount was, and that's why it got tabled. But now, like I said, that second last page shows the calculations.
Now they have something you can check.
Right.
Verify.
That was the whole problem last time. Okay. Treehab, 10 Public Avenue, Montrose, has proposed a multi-family development on lands currently owned by Robert and Patricia Aiken along Township Road 583, McCullum Road in Bridgewater Township. Treehab intends to purchase 7.22 acres and build a townhouse development consisting of 40 townhouse units and a community building. A new road with cul-de-sac is proposed to serve the development and is accessed by way of McCollum Road. In reviewing the plans, the following items are called to your attention. Number one, by definition, this is a multifamily type of residential development. Number two, application, affidavit of ownership, and filing fee have been received. Number three, site development plans were prepared by T.W. Lasota Engineering with Patton, PA, with topographic and boundary survey done by Butler Land Surveying. Number four, a subdivision plan for 7.22 acres has been approved by our office. Treehab will purchase and develop the property after the transfer has been completed. Number five, the engineer has included on the next to last page the calculations regarding open space. Treehab increased the amount of land to be purchased, and consequently the open space is now 43% of the total property with 40% required. Number six, building sizes and floor plans are included with the plan submission. A typical townhouse is 39 feet by 15.6 feet and includes outdoor storage. There are both 2 and 3 bedroom models proposed. 2 bedroom models are 2 stories high and 3 bedroom models are 3 stories high. The floor plan for the community building is also included with the submission. Number seven, a new road is proposed to serve the development. The road profile details are shown on sheet C800. The road will not be dedicated to the township at this time. Number eight, a landscaping plan is included which shows screening between the proposed development and the neighboring residential buildings. Number nine, an application for an NPDES permit has been submitted, and we just got the approval tonight from Willie Keeney of the Conservation District Office. Number 10, the Bridgewater Township Municipal Sewer Authority will serve the development. A letter from the authority states that there is capacity to serve the 40 townhouses. Number 11, water is to be provided by the public water supply currently reaching the new hospital development. Section 402.3G requires a letter from the water company stating that they will serve the development. We understand that the current owner is presently working on this matter with Pennsylvania American Water Company. Number 12, the utility plan indicates that development will be served by natural gas. Number 13, General Note 18 on the cover sheet states that the roadway will be maintained by the owner. A separate letter from Treehab states that they will be responsible for maintaining all of the common areas. Number 14, the Bridgewater Township Supervisors were notified on December 14th, and the revised plans will be sent to them for their next meeting, which is scheduled for February 4th. So the staff recommendation changes a little bit. Grant preliminary approval of the Meadows at Tiffany Pines multifamily development conditioned on receipt of a letter from the water company stating that they will supply the development and receipt of the municipality report form from the Bridgewater Township Supervisors within the Commission's allowable review period.
Is there going to be enough land left for another driveway entrance into the remaining land?
There is a driveway into the remaining lands.
There is an existing one.
Yes. Yep.
I see there's like a lot going around a house here, and then
Right,
there's
that's an existing house.
30.20 feet left.
Maybe flip over the page. Let's see. Okay.
Let me help I got that down. Somewhere there's a driveway
Yeah.
shown.
Yeah.
And then you either have a driveway or a right of way over the same land. You've got frontage
You
on,
don't think there's no?
do they?
What's that?
He's questioning it.
Oh, yeah,
This.
but it's only 30 feet. Usually you require 50 for it.
Well, is this separate? This is separate.
Right.
So that's a separate lot.
Well, they've got it marked out as a separate lot, so
Yeah, that was, took action on that a couple of days.
this house, right? Oh, they sold it off?
they get grant 20 feet over there.
Hopefully it still meets the setback. Hopefully. Just, just thinking ahead here. They do have other land there that they will be
Okay.
selling eventually.
Here's the subdivision plan that was approved. It shows the driveway. They're also working on a driveway over here. This is all one deed. They have a driveway off McComb Road coming into that entire deed.
There's no more land there, 182.79. This one only shows 30.20 or something like that. Well, that answers my question, as long as they're not.
Okay, you have 15 and 17, 16 and 17, 23 plus 7. Done by Butler Land Surveying.
Well, they wouldn't make a mistake.
They had good training.
Any other questions?
Question.
This is normally an area that I would cover. Chairman, I'm not allowed to make any motions there. And the motion was made by Nancy, and the motion is to accept
The grant preliminary approval of the Meadows at Tiffany Pines multifamily development, conditioned on receipt of a letter from the water company stating that they will supply the development and receipt of the municipality report form from the Bridgewater Township supervisors within the commission's allowable review period.
There's a second to that?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Already had your hand up, Leah.
Is there a driveway permit for it?
Yes, from the township, yep.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
One of the requirements for
for the subdivision.
Okay,
Yep.
finalized conditional approvals, there's none to be considered at this time. Subdivision and land development review, none at this time. Act 170 to review and comment. Gloria Hom, Teresa Kramer, and Stephen L. Jones subdivision, 3 lots, Clifford Township, review and comment. We have a positive comment with 1 recommendation. Also,
Does anybody need to speak?
any questions on that one? And then we have James and Beth Gillerin subdivision, 1 lot at the Thompson Township. Review and comment, and positive comment with 1 recommendation. And the third one is Jason Clancy, land development, the 2nd dwelling in Clifford Township. Recommended the plan reflect either a subdivision or a land development.
Eleanor would have to explain that one. She wasn't sure what it was.
How about both?
If you want to look at the map, you can.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They have a lot defined, but they're calling it a land development, so we're not sure if it's a subdivision or actually a land development.
But the acreage.
Acreage is all different.
Yes, the acreage is,
Which one the fee,
Yep.
5 and 3 higher or lower?
and he didn't do the whole acreage, he only did a portion of it. So,
So it has to be a land development, you can't subdivide it.
yes, but he
Second
doesn't
dwelling
have the total
isn't considered
acreage. He's
land
only got a
development.
portion
The
of it.
second dwelling is, but
Does he
they
have
have it.
enough for that particular building?
It's
Huh? On that, that's a land development. Does he
So
have
you're
enough?
doing dwellings?
No, because it's all the same deed.
But then it's a land development, he's got 2 houses.
He can do it, but he's got.
supposed to be a second dwelling,
They've got
but
that.
the acreage is showing 34 point something. And the whole acreage is, I don't know.
Back in 2004, they added 30 acres to this
We
parcel.
can understand if they're trying to do that. So that was the recommendation back to Clifford to make up your mind. Vinnie?
So you're sending it back because it's.
Well,
I recommend that they have to define whether it's going to be a land development or whether it's going to be.
That's
There's
not
a
good.
barn, but he doesn't show a house anyplace on the existing house, they got a proposed house.
That's on the other side of the
Oh,
road.
there it is there.
There's a barn on this side of the road where the proposed house is.
They didn't subdivide out a lot, so
Right.
it's obviously not a
They
subdivision.
Right,
added-
but then up in the acreage, it says 34 point something, and
Yes.
that doesn't match anything.
And back in 2004, they added 30 acres from the Roth to Jason Clancy.
So they already had 4 acres and then they added 30 to it to get.
But it's all in one deed. It's the same deed for the whole parcel.
And not separate parcels either.
No.
And we thought maybe that was the
Is that on
case.
374?
I'm sorry?
Is it on 374?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know what it
I think I do.
is? It's up to Clifford to straighten it out.
They sent it to us to do a review and comment on.
I think it's up on,
Then all we have to do is review and comment. Comment is.
We didn't even
Make
get
up
an
your mind.
application, so I
Make up your
didn't
mind.
even have a telephone number so I can call him. You know what he's doing.
Any other questions?
We'll make them do something.
It says it meets the requirements of the Clifford subdivision and land development ordinance.
Matter of opinion.
Does anybody know what they are?
Well, we have a copy of it, yeah. That's what, you know, Eleanor, when you do a
That's the only
review
thing
and
I got
comment.
was a copy of the survey map. I did not get any application. I didn't get any.
But when you review them against the Clifford or the Thompson or the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever, Silver Lake.
Here
Well,
comes Ted.
We don't approve it anyway then, do we?
No, they do.
Recommend.
We just make recommendations.
Recommendation.
I recommend they need a little more information.
Consider motion to concur with the action taken by the staff. Motion's been made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same. Wait. Charlie, welcome you, you've been fighting the fog all this time? Hopefully it's something that might.
Is it foggy all the way over? For wherever you are.
Any of the commissioners or planning commissioners have any items for discussion at this time?
Didn't do his staff approval.
Oh. That's fine. Okay. Minor subdivision additions approved by the staff during through 25 January. John Louise White, Knowler Township, 1 lot. Lawrence 40, Uniondale Borough. Any questions on those?
I'll make a motion to concur with staff approval of subdivision additions 1 through 2.
Motion has been made to approve the action taken by the staff. There's a second. Second by Chet. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed the same. Motion has been passed. Minor subdivision new lots. We have 5. First one is Nancy Ross in Herrick Township, 3 lots. There's John McBride and Polican, 1 lot. Brendan Teal in Springville Township. 4th one is Anne Marie Phillips and others, Dimick Township. 5th one is Curtis Hinkle, Deborah Stevensbach. And
That's in Franklin Township.
Franklin Township. Anybody have any question on the minor subdivision new lots? Motion to concur with the action taken by the staff. Motion made, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the same. Motion has been passed. Ladies and gentlemen, you have before you a copy of the 2012 annual draft. And you look it over, get back to Bob, Harold, nor with any changes or suggestions. One suggestion that I have is we may dedicate the 2012 annual report to Pat Ahorn, who was a dedicated member of this commission and had to resign because of a personal health problem. So, if anybody have any other suggestions that we dedicate it to? Everybody agree that we're doing for Pat? Okay, good, very good. There are no other items to come before the commission at this time. Entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion is made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor signify by rising.
Nobody around is
Is there any more Acre Lake Vet Hospital maps?
So,